This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. It is, of course, Tuesday morning, and the leader of our nation, Barack Hussein Obama, has spoken at a press conference. We'll, of course, cover that. We'll see if anybody wants to listen. We took my wife out for her birthday dinner last night, and we went to the new, I don't know how new it is, well, it's pretty new, I guess, Italian restaurant in the mall, and we sat in the Pope table, the Pope little room there, and she sat in the Pope's chair with pictures of the Pope all around her. I want to put a couple pictures. I'll get in trouble for doing this, but I'll put them up anyway on Facebook. My daughter, Charlie Ann, was successfully defended by her father, and these BS charges, for lack of a better word, were dismissed. And I want everybody to know that joining us for traffic this morning is the one, the only, Boone County's finest, Angie rhymes with nickel, pickle, and sickle, Prickle. Are you ready, Angie Prickle? And you got to speak right in that microphone.
I am ready.
You know what? I got a prediction, Garrett. She will be the best yet.
I think so too. I like her personality already.
She's on the ball. She's got spunk. She's gonna, because Ladybug yesterday sucked.
Horrible.
And she tried to buy us off with cars and little trinkets and with her onesie and everything else. When we have traffic reporters, we want them to dress normal, we want them to smell good, and we want them to be able to speak loud in the microphone, you know.
She was a freak, man. People from Indian Hill are 0 for 2.
Yeah, 0 for 2.
Okay, she was wearing a onesie.
A onesie. It made us very uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was
very uncomfortable. And so anyway, but Angie, is there, we'll go ahead and start. Is there anything going on? We already know the answer, but we'll do it anyway. Is there anything going on in traffic out there?
No incidents to report at this time.
She's perfect.
She's doing it. She's nailing it. All right. By the way, here's another thing about Angie Prickle, Garrett.
Yeah.
She probably knows. You can, by the way, you can adjust that down so you don't have to lean on. Oh, by the way Ladybug held the microphone every time she spoke made me uncomfortable.
Weird.
Angie was like this.
Like this.
I mean, it was like, whoa. But Angie also, she might have a leg up on everybody else because she knows probably more people than the other traffic reporters do. So she might get more people listening to us than some of the others. I mean, Ladybug, I think she has, what do we have? Black Bear, Billy Goat, and 6 other hikers is all the friends she has. Judy Schlottman has made all the realtors mad. They don't even let her attend the meetings anymore. She's mad.
Doesn't surprise me.
You know, all the Bengal cheerleaders and all the teachers don't like Sarah Jones, but all the guys do. That's why we have her on Friday. Yeah. Let me see, who else have we had? Melissa Chambers. She's a farmer, so nobody knows her. She's a chicken farmer.
A big hillbilly.
By the way, we love all you guys. We're just pointing out that Angie Prickle is a business owner and
very well-known
person, widely respected. She might bring more listeners to us than some of these other jackwagon traffic reporters.
Are you married?
Yes, sir. 23 years.
23 years? Stable? That's important too, you know?
I don't know about stable, but no, I'm just joking.
You took his name?
Oh. Of course.
Yeah, we're wondering why.
Proudly.
I like to know why that plastic surgeon named Gordon Brown, Mandel Brown, or whatever the hell his name is, how come a guy has a hyphenated name? I just want to know, why does a guy have a hyphenated name?
I can't figure that one out. Maybe he had a past life.
We had a kid. I knew a kid in high school that had a hyphenated name. It was just his mom's and his dad's.
Really?
They use separate names.
Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury, we have Radio Suburban. I got some major announcements along the way about that. But we're going to start you out today with a great Tom Petty song, Learning to Fly. When we come back, we'll see if any accidents have occurred, and we're going to start with Today in History on ClassX Radio. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury, yesterday I had some clients come all the way from Gallatin County, and they say they listen every morning. And I'm just thinking to myself, that FM signal goes pretty good there south. Does it go pretty good? Does it go pretty good west towards Hebron?
I don't know about Hebron, but
Union?
it sounds great in Verona.
Verona. That's where your farm is?
Yeah!
We love Verona. You know, Verona was the Italian home and birthplace of Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. And when I was 13 going through Europe on those Latin school trips, I remember on a train going through the train station in Verona. And I just said, Romeo and Juliet was born here. Just picking out a city.
Oh,
You know, if you had like, you know what? When you think about it, like if you were gonna like write something as good as Shakespeare, it'd be fun, wouldn't it? Like figuring out where do you want to put, like James Bond movies. I always think to myself, they're running out, and they've already ran out. How do you come up with like a new location for all the suspense to take place? And they usually go all around the world, you know. But they've had James Bond movies in Prague, you know, London, you know, all over the place. All right, 1780, Continental Congress established the Court of Appeals. University of Notre Dame received its charter in Indiana. And of course, Notre Dame would have won the game against Alabama. It was the referees. The referees, they found out, were Lutheran, Protestant, and Jewish.
Jobbed them.
They jobbed the Catholics. Everybody talks about Jews and other religions getting picked on. Well, I'm going to tell you something. They even said the side judge was Muslim. The Catholics getting ripped off all the time. You know what? You know, I'm going to tell you, Angie, you probably agree with this. They always tell you, if you're at a cocktail party, you don't talk about politics and religion. The hell if you don't. That's what gets the conversation going, right?
absolutely.
Coca-Cola was incorporated in 1889 today. I love that advice Richard Pryor gave Eddie Murphy when Bill Cosby criticized him. He says, tell Bill Cosby to have a Coke and shut up. Tchaikovsky's ballet, Swan Lake, premiered at St. Petersburg. And I understood that you performed Swan Lake once on Broadway when you were younger.
Oh yeah, I was.
Were you the white swan or the black swan?
The white, of course. The beautiful swan.
Absolutely. Who wants to be the black swan? And we're not talking about race, we're talking about the color black relative to the swan.
Thanks for that correction.
All right. Oh, by the way, we got to make another correction so your husband doesn't freak out. When you were joking around about stuff, see, your husband obviously doesn't get talk radio. It's kind of a shtick. See, you were making fun of yourself like mental stability, which you're really not. But he was worried that everybody would think that you all weren't like stable financially.
No, he was worried that everybody would think I was saying we didn't have a stable marriage.
Ah, I see.
That's what's your husband saying?
Randy.
That's what I thought. Randy, I agree with. I thought the same thing.
I didn't think that at all.
She's on the verge of divorce.
They've been married 23 years.
Why would I say that on the news, Randy?
And listen. And as far as stability, they got this business. Now, you may not anybody know your business, but I do know this. They own 5%. The family does of the publicly traded stock in the Coca-Cola company. So what do you think that's worth? They've passed it down through the ages. I mean,
I work for Coke.
Yeah, he works for Coke.
You guys are billionaires?
Yeah. World's largest office building in 1943 was completed. It's called the Pentagon. The Pentagon. 1961, the Supremes, led by Diana Ross, signed with Motown Records. Baby love.
Let me tell you something.
By the way, let me tell you something else. And Randy, we're gonna be polite to your wife. We respect married women. Unmarried women, maybe not. But I want to tell you something. She has the best smelling perfume of all the other ladies that we've had on here. Doesn't she smell good?
I can't smell her. I got her clogged up.
All right.
Let's have Jake spelled Supremes real quick. Jake, our S-U-R-P-R.
Jake went to Dixie.
E-A-M-E-S. Not spell.
He wasn't a coming to Latin school.
Speller.
My husband went to Dixie.
Your husband went to Dixie?
Yeah.
That's a hill.
Hey, I played on my Halloween party. I played a Dixie person. At our Halloween party, I was Cody, Sarah's boyfriend. I was Cody, and my wife was I love Sarah Jones. She's a great gal. She works for me. But my wife was a hot Ben gal at the Halloween party. You missed it, Mr. Go to Green Bay.
Something wrong about
Where
that.
were you, Prickle?
I didn't get invited.
Well, no, I know what it was. The Coke Halloween party was that night. At least that's what you told me.
You had to take care of business.
Yeah. Is there anything going on in traffic out there in this hour of, what is it, 7? Not 7.
6 to 7.
6 to 7. Is there anything going on?
No incidents to report at this time.
All right. We still have tons of stuff today in history. Rock group Who released its first album. I can't explain. By the way, we need a Who. We need a Who poster, Jake. We need a Rolling Stones poster.
Veto, overrated bands.
Super Bowl 1, Green Bay 35, Kansas City 10. And in 1974, Happy Days began an 11-year run on ABC. I love this show.
I love that show.
That's a great show.
I mean, when I was growing up, everybody would say, you know what, Eric Deters reminds me of Fonzie. I mean, I was always flattered that they thought I was Fonzie, you know? I was that cool to be held up to such esteem. The Coneheads debuted on Saturday Night Live. And today was a great day in history.
I love that.
And Sarah Jane Moore was sentenced to life for attempting to shoot President Ford. You know what? Why would you want to kill President Ford? I mean, he's about plain vanilla guy, not controversial. You know what? Why would you want to shoot him? I can understand somebody trying to shoot Reagan because he made him mad, or Bush, or Obama. Ford? Why do you want to assassinate Ford? Like Jimmy Carter. Why would you want to assassinate him? Hill Street Blues premiered on NBC. I never watched one full thing of that. Did you?
No, never.
Yeah. In 1990, 42-year-old George Foreman KO'd George Clooney. I thought that was George Clooney for a minute.
That's how I read it.
Yeah, they called George Clooney. This was funny. Remember, like back when the black heavyweights were dominating, they always said that they were going to get a white heavyweight, and they always called him the Great White Hope. George Clooney was one of those great white hopes that went down. Big time.
Yeah, no.
And today's famous birthdays, folks. Today is actually the birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who said, here we go, Mighty Mountains, let it rain.
Rado.
Kelly 26, Drew Brees 34, Charo 62, Lloyd Bridges, and Aristotle Onassis. Brett, no one ever called me Potsy, Brett Ross. I want to thank you, Angie Prickle, for your loyalty.
You're welcome, Eric. Anytime.
How about Aristotle Onassis? Messing around with the First Lady after JFK was shot. My goodness gracious, man. Here's the quote of the day before we play our next song. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, something I've never experienced, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy, where I always seem to be. That was Martin Luther King. Oh my God. Last Night by the Traveling Wilburys we'll dedicate to Brett Ross because we want to know where he was last night.
Ooh.
Was he home or was he, I don't know, on ClassX Radio? This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. Today's forecast, partly cloudy, high of 40. We do it because we don't know if Rich is telling the truth or not. You know what, I mentioned Verona. I cannot believe I forgot to mention our good buddy who listens every morning, Jim from Verona, who takes care of everybody down there. I think his place of business is called the Country Value Barn. Do you shop down there at the Country Value Barn? See, you know what? I've never pulled out my country voice, my farm voice. I can do this voice as good as I can Bill Clinton. Angie Prickle, since you live in Verona, do you shop at the Country Value Barn?
No, I do not, but it's not too far from my house, and it looks like a pretty rocking place.
So you do know where it is?
I know exactly where it is.
All right.
love Jim from Verona. What's going on, Jim?
Here's what some useless, we call them useless and interesting facts. To be very honest with you, this is my favorite part of the show. You'll eat about 35,000 cookies in a lifetime. I bet you I do 70,000. I love cookies. The average American drinks about 600 sodas a year. Not this guy anymore. I'm a waterman. I'm a waterman. Over 2,500 left-handed people a year are killed from using products made for right-handed people. So if you're left-handed, be a little careful. Okay? We got some dumb criminals too. Man, I ain't gonna read dumb criminals. Question of the day. Why do fat chance and slim chance mean the same thing? Now that is a good question, William. Fat chance and slim chance. It just does. You know, some things just do. Angie Prickle, do we have anything going on in traffic?
In Cincinnati, injury accident on US 50 River Road, Three Rivers Parkway at Kibbe Lane.
Very good. She's good, Garrett.
Only one was hurt. Too bad.
Thank goodness. Come woo me. For now, I am in a holiday humor and like enough to consent. That's the Shakespeare that we've chosen for today. That's kind of weird. Come woo me. For now, I'm in holiday humor and like enough to consent. I think, let's do the interpretation. I'm ready, baby! Pop culture news. A new report from the coroner says that Natalie Wood was abducted and killed by aliens. No, I'm just joking. Says some of the bruises found in the actress's body may have occurred before she drowned. Only two people know. Robert Wagner.
And God.
Well, no, I was thinking about the other actor that was on board. God, I can't believe I can't think of it. Christopher Walken. As a part of the benefit of the Teammates for Kids organization, Red's All-Star Outfielder and Country Music Hall of Famer member Jay Bruce and Garth Brooks collaborated on Friends in Low Places. I can sing that song. You want me to sing it for y'all?
You said Jay Bruce, Garth Brooks.
Yeah, Jay Bruce and Garth Brooks sing together. I got friends in low places. Ann Romney has officially turned down Dancing with the Stars. Yeah, you don't want to do that. Rush Limbaugh says Obama doesn't talk about solutions to problems. He just points his conservatives as the enemy. You're right, Rush Limbaugh. You know, I've listened to Rush a long time ago. I listened to him all the time. I guess I was one of those ditto heads, which I never understood. Then I got sick of Rush. Now I'm sick of Fox News. It's not that I don't agree with their opinions. I'm just sick of it. We need more variety like me. Do you know, true, my television people are actually pitching me to CNN for a 1-hour news talk show. Monologue, news, guests. Seriously, wouldn't that be cool? I would bring a top-rated show to CNN. Prince William and Kate Middleton have announced their first child is due to arrive in July. Do you care? I don't. Jerry Lewis is going to star in a movie, Max Rose. The film focuses on a jazz pianist who loses his wife for over 50 years and then finds out his marriage was a lie. You know what that means? She was cheating on him for 50 years.
I love jazz pianists.
You do?
Great
wow.
pianists.
Robin Roberts, the Good Morning America host, has announced she will return to the show within the next few weeks. She has been on leave for undergoing a bone marrow transplant. They're trying to decipher Jodie Foster's speech. Who cares about Jodie Foster's speech? I don't, do you?
It was weird. Did you see any of that?
Yes. I mean, I saw it like afterwards. I didn't watch those shows anymore. I used to because I was a big movie buff. I don't watch them anymore. You gotta wait 20 freaking minutes and the next day you can pick up and find out who won. What's the suspense, you know? Angie Prickle, do you like the movies?
I do, but I'm just not into TV that much anymore.
Good for you. You know, there's some people that they don't have TV. They don't throw it. I watch more television than anybody I know because I watch it while I work. Last night, we watched a documentary that was about, they filmed some people way back in the 60s, like growing up. And then I watched a documentary. Oh my goodness, I got my, well, the list is on its way and already. But I watched 2 more documentaries, and here's one I watched. I admit it, I watched it. It's called After Porn. And what it was, I just couldn't resist this. It was a documentary about what happens to porn stars after they're done, okay? And I'm telling you right now, sad, sad, and then sad. There wasn't one of these guys or gals that did not have great regret, talk terrible about the industry, and just had some real sad stories to tell.
Well, they're doing the Lord's work. Keep it going, people. It's a necessary evil.
Necessary evil. Randy West. Remember Randy West? I tell you, some of the stories were wild, like how they got, like Randy West, how he got started was funny. But he's a lonely, miserable dude now, man. Asia Carrera, alcoholic. She got out of it, and her husband was killed in a car wreck, and she, I mean, just sad stories, man.
She does great work.
Oh, great work. You're terrible. And we're going to cover sports when we come back, including the fact that Louisville's #1. Indiana's #2. Duke is #3. Kentucky is number 46. I just made that up. At the end of the day, Kentucky's... You a big UK fan, Angie Prickle?
I love UK.
So of course you do.
So do I.
They're in deep trouble, too.
They are not in deep trouble.
It might be NCAA tournament bubble time.
Hey. Guess what I say about UK? Silver lining. Here's a silver lining. If they don't do all that super great, they got the #1 team. Do you realize next year they have 3 of the top 5 players coming in there? The 2 top guards and this power forward. Do you know that means some of these guys are going to stick around for another year?
They're all going to
How good will they be next year, baby? So there's the silver lining. Next year we won't even lose a game. This is Molly Hatchet, Follow the Peacemakers on ClassX Radio. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. You know, I think after Friday, we ought to just pick one of the winners from our audition. I'm getting tired of, you know, having to line up these people, you know. I get like 39, yesterday I think I had 39 people wanting to do traffic tomorrow, and it's getting old. But before we continue, let's go to our traffic reporter today. Angie Brickle is doing a fine job. What's going on out there on the highways, the byways, the bridges, the rivers and the streams in the tri-state?
In Cincinnati, injury accident on US 50 River Road, 3 Rivers Parkway at Kibbe Lane, disabled vehicle on I-275 eastbound at I-75 exit 43.
All right, hope everybody is okay on the way to the hospital or wherever. You know, speaking of UK players, my daughter Charlie Ann allegedly was out sometime, and like one of her friends was hanging with Darius Miller, and I think she confessed to actually buying beer for Darius Miller and the dude that played backup center that year that was also drafted. My little girl.
Oh. What was this?
Could have been an NCAA scandal. No, it was up here.
You ought to be allowed.
Yeah.
It's one of your friends.
Yeah. Sierra Wood will not return for his final year of eligibility. He's decided to enter the NFL draft. Now we got plenty of people to take your place.
Yeah.
Lance Armstrong confessed to Oprah. I'm sorry, Oprah. I took steroids and I cheated. You know what I say? Who cares? I forgive you. Life goes on. He didn't kill anybody. But he has a lot of apologies. All those people that he was tough on, he owes them a big apology. You know what? This is going to cost him a fortune in lawsuits that are going to sue. His conscience, man, just ate him up. And, by the way, folks, big mistake for him to confess. He gains nothing from this. He creates more enemies. Those that were close to him would have hung with him. His confession is stupid. Who's ever advising him is dumb, and then dumb.
Well, let me ask you this. Should Jerry Sandusky confess? I mean, that guy is...
It doesn't make any difference about Sandusky. Right. I'm talking about somebody that you're not going to jail or anything. It was dumb for him to confess, in my humble opinion.
And you're right about losing millions, because there's newspapers that he sued for libel for saying that he used steroids, that now they're going to get that money back.
Javon Belcher, the Kansas City linebacker who shot himself, his blood alcohol level was over twice the legal limit. It was in the morning. And he shot his girlfriend 9 times. Not 8, 9. San Francisco is at Atlanta at 3 p.m. on Fox on Sunday. Baltimore, New England at 6:30. The Cincinnati Cyclones, next game is tonight versus the Jackals. It's Big Beer Tuesday and Neon Night. NBA scores, let me see if there's anything worth reporting here. Boston beat Charlotte 189. The Bulls 97 over the Hawks 58. Miami lost to Utah 104. to 97. Louisville ranked number 1, 73. Connecticut 58. And by the way, my UK Wildcats almost beat them, and they're not even ranked. That's BS.
Well, Louisville.
Go ahead.
Played horrible in the first half. We're down by about 15 up in Connecticut. They were in stores at the XL Center last night, and we're down 15 at halftime, and then came back and won by like 50. Louisville's a good freaking team. Russ Smith.
UK is gonna. They almost beat them. They almost came back and beat them.
UK's not even ranked. Big game tonight. Big game for my Bearcats tonight.
Who cares? I like the Bearcats. What time do they play and who do they play? I'm just
7 o'clock, DePaul in Chicago. Need another Big East road win.
In some local news, a Bracken County school bus crash injured 2 children and 2 adults that was on Sparks Road. They were taken for precautionary measure. Apparently everybody's going to be okay. Mike Pence, all you Hoosiers out there. It was sworn in yesterday as the 50th governor of the state of Indiana. He was sworn in on the Bible that Benjamin Harrison used when he was sworn in as president. Conway, that's Jack Conway, the Kentucky Attorney General, is considering running for governor in 2015. Ryan Widmer has been denied the option of having the 4th trial in the murder by the 12th District of Appeals. They'll now go to the Ohio Supreme Court. Ryan Widmer's time is about up.
Do you think he was guilty?
He was guilty as hell. What else do we have here? 44-year-old Ernest William Singleton was arrested on federal drug charges for conspiracy to distribute oxycodone and conspiracy to launder funds. What else do we have? Mount Healthy, a possible new development and apartment complex intended for disabled individuals who could bring new jobs to the area. Funding for the project is approved. And I don't want to violate any inside information that I might have, but you know, sex crimes, they just keep on happening, don't they? And they're going to keep happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Little boys and big boys go home and they look at walls like that wall right there with all those girls on the poster, and then bad things happen.
It's a dream wall.
It is a dream wall.
Kids, we expect.
Yeah. You know what? I think people get, and that was my favorite, when they did, Diga did the Lifetime television show about Nicole Howe, My Life's a Lifetime movie. That was their favorite. They said they were rolling in New York in the studios when they saw my little bit when I said, I used my hand, I said, sex, students, teachers, everybody goes bonkers. Everybody goes bonkers. They're intrigued. Everybody wants to know what really happened. In some legal news, Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas spoke for the first time in almost 7 years. Well, yeah, he speaks, but not like publicly. And you know what? Sotomayor, who did a 60 Minutes bit, and she's selling a book. You know what? I have to admit, there were some things that she says that I liked. I mean, she's liberal, but there's some things that she had to say about those with drug dependency, alcohol dependency, minorities and whatnot that I dig, man. I dig. She's tough. You know what she likes to do, Sotomayor? She chain smoked 3 packs of cigarettes a day. She doesn't anymore. She's divorced. She decided she intentionally didn't have any children. Her hobbies are poker and the New York Yankees.
Really?
She can't be all bad, can she?
No, that's my kind of
I'm that kind of lady, baby. Poker.
Gamble, probably hit AC.
And a Puerto Rican growing up in New York. I mean, she's tough.
Yeah.
She's tough, broad.
Who's this? The new
Sotomayor, the justice, the first Hispanic or Latino justice
60 Minutes
on the Supreme Court. Yeah, she's tough. So we'll see how she does going forward. Ladies and gentlemen of the American jury, when we come back, we'll have another traffic report as we get into our second hour of Radio Superbity. And again, I have some big news to announce. This is Moody Blues, Ride My Seesaw on ClassX Radio. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. You know what? I left my outline for my show in my box when I copied and printed off my newsletter. And I'm going, you watch, Chuck will get madder than hell when I do this. So who do I count on when I'm in my need? I count on Chuck, right? Chuck's the underboss, right? Well, it's 7:02 and he's not responding to my texts or emails. Now, usually he's up at 6 o'clock. Maybe he's taking a long, long shower with his newlywed or something. I don't know. The feds, the officials within the Justice Department, are recommending the department join a whistleblower lawsuit to reclaim sponsorship money from the former Tour de France. Well, you know what he did? He's probably going to put $5 million in a trust that he'll be able to protect, and then everything else he's going to say, oh, sorry. And you know what Lance Armstrong's going to do now? This is going to be fun. He is going to like get off all his steroids and stuff, and then he's going to win the over 60 triathlons and bike races.
Ooh, that's horrible.
Is there any traffic news out there? Angie Prickle.
In Cincinnati, injury accident on US 50, River Road, 3 Rivers Parkway at Kibbe Lane. Disabled vehicle on I-275 eastbound at I-75 exit 43.
Hey, Chuck is up and ready to go. He said it was an hour and 15-minute shower, not an hour show. I'm sorry about that. Chuck, I'm just going to go announce this on the radio. I left my box with my radio outline and some work for Cincinnati on your desk by the copier, and I would be very grateful if you went and picked up the box and brought it here to the studio. If you do that, you will get to meet Angie Prickle, our best traffic girl yet.
Thanks.
44-year-old Ronald Miller was arrested after leaving his child's elementary school last Wednesday. He approached school staff and told them he had a gun, and they were dead in his own active shooter drill in which he was actually, I mean, what a goofball. Now this is sad but true. A new study revealed that male jurors are more likely to find female defendants guilty when they are overweight. It's true. And by the way, you generally do not want women judging women on juries. And if you've got a good-looking client, female, men on the jury. Because they all want to be the white knight.
Did Sarah have a jury?
No, she never needed a jury because I got her such a good deal. We didn't even need to go down that road. Now Nicole Howe had a jury, and I put as many, see, you're allowed to strike. It's called preempt. And by golly, you strike as many of them as you can.
So you get, how many do they start with?
I got to tell you a funny story. They start with, what they do is based upon your preemptories, which means you can strike them for no reason at all. Let's say two sides, let's say you're seating a Kenton County jury, or Kentucky jury, where you're going to have 12 jurors. And each side is going to get 4 strikes. And you're going to have 1 alternate. Well, that means you got 12, and add 4 for each side. That's
21.
That's 20 plus 21. So you would start with 21 or 20. That's how you do it.
And you each get to eliminate 4 right off the bat?
For no free, no, not right off the bat for any reason at all, just by questioning. Sometimes you do this, you go, I just don't like the way that person looks.
Right.
And you can strike them. Or based on a question like, I think anybody that gets hurt in a car accident deserves $1 million. The other side's going to strike them.
Right.
I think anybody in a car accident should never get a nickel. I'm going to strike them.
Is there a foolproof way, say I got on jury duty and didn't want to really do it, is there a foolproof way to get off?
Well, if it's a criminal trial, say you think everybody who's charged with the crime is guilty.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. I want to do it.
Or if it's a black defendant, say, I just want everybody to know I used to be a member, and I still am a member of the Ku Klux Klan. You'll be kicked off.
Hey, what if I got onto a jury that you were trying the case for? Would they figure it out?
No, Garrett, in that circumstance, you just keep your mouth shut and act like you don't know me.
No, that's what I'm saying. Would the other guy figure out that...
Who knows? I don't know. I'm not going to tell him. I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing.
I hope I get one to shove in Kenton County Court. Deters v. State Kentucky.
I have cases over in Hamilton County, so you could potentially be drawn on one of my juries.
I got summoned or whatever once, and then got out of it. But like to get out of it, I had to send them because I was a student at the time. I had to send like my whole class schedule and like get a note or something. It was. Right. Crazy process.
The Dirty.com, which that trial is going to trial next Tuesday at 9 o'clock. Feel free to come down, folks, if you want to watch it. But here is something that is interesting. I wrote a demand to the other side. And this lawyer for them posted it. It's confidential. Shouldn't have posted it, right? But not only does he not post it, he posts his response letter which says things in there which are clear-cut libel of me. Now this is where it's funny, okay? I didn't catch it at first, and then it dawned on me. I said, wait a minute. He just libeled me. And not only has he just libeled me, I know I can prove malice. See, I'm a public figure. So, like you guys, if you're not a public, you guys wouldn't be considered public figure. Somebody libels you, the standard is just negligence. If you're a public figure, you have to prove that they did it with malice. So, like, let's say you
intent to harm.
Yeah, let's say you don't know me, and you say the worst. You call me a. I'm not kidding. You don't know me, and you call me a pedophile. I can't sue you. But if you're like, I can prove you're an arch enemy, and you said that with malice, it's a different ballgame. I mean, do you think I can prove that the lawyer on the other side of the Dirty.com case has malice towards me? Yes. But this is where he really screwed up. This is hilarious. He files a document where he brags 200,000 people hit on it, and like 100 posted something. So all of a sudden I'm sitting around, it hits me, I think, wait a minute. A, he's libeled me. 2, he's got malice. 3, he just told me how many people saw it. So I wrote him a letter. Said, put your carriers on notice. I'm suing you. And he wrote back, I want to warn you that, you know what my response was? My response back was, I'm suing you, big boy. That's what I used, big.
That's awesome. So when's that go down?
Goes Tuesday. Tuesday. The White House has informed the House Budget Committee, Paul Ryan, that it will fail to meet the deadline for sending a budget to Congress as required by law by February 4th. Now, Barack Obama goes out there and says all the stuff he says and everything else, but he doesn't submit even a freaking budget to balance the budget. Why? Because guess what? The media and 51% of the people that voted for him, they don't care. They don't get away with anything. What else do we have? A Texas Republican governor, Representative Steve Stockman, has threatened Obama impeachment over the threatened executive orders on gun control.
Got a little Obama on gun control.
Go ahead, let's hear Obama on gun control so my blood pressure can increase live on Real Talk, not ClassX Radio. Go ahead.
Here's a new nail gun they can't take away from us. They can't disarm us from nailing them to the wall, can they? Check this thing out.
Mr. Order, this guy's a great speaker. Hey, criminals. I would track that. I've had enough. It is so appropriate that the next song that we have is this song. And the reason why is because Barack Obama is going to make all gun owners outlaws. And you know, I'm going to change the name of this song. This song is Green Grass and High Tides Forever. I'm going to say Green Grass and Semi-Automatic Weapons Forever on ClassX Radio. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. I want to just share with you poetry. You know, I still think Bruce Springsteen was a better poet than Dylan. That makes some people mad. I don't care. But listen to these words from Green Grass, High Tides Forever. In a place you only dream of, where your soul is always free, silver stages, golden curtains, filled my head plain as can be. As a rainbow grew around the sun, all the stars I've loved who died came from somewhere beyond the scene you see. These lovely people played just for me. Now, if I let you see this place where stories all ring true, will you let me past your face to see what's really you? It's not for me I ask these questions as though I were a king. For you have to love, believe, and feel before the burst of tambourines take you there. Green grass and high tides forever, castles of stone, souls in glory, lost faces say we adore you, as kings and queens bow and play for you. Those who don't believe me, find your souls and set them free. Those who do believe in love, as time will be your key. Time and time again I've thanked them for a peace of mind. They help me find myself amongst the music and the rhyme that enchants you there. I'm telling you right now, that is as a good rock poetry ever written. Do you agree, Angie Prickle?
Absolutely. That was awesome.
That gives me goosebumps just reading those words. I can tell Garrett's really inspired, young 40-year-old buck over there.
That's a horrible verse.
What's going on in traffic out there, Angie Prickle?
Well, it's pretty light. In Cincinnati, injury accident on US 50, River Road, Three Rivers Parkway at Kibby Lane. Disabled vehicle cleared on I-275 eastbound at I-75 exit 43. Thank God, nothing else.
You know, the underboss, Chuck Holbrook, gets overambitious sometimes. And I want you to know that I admire his loyalty and his ambition. You know what, Chuck? He comes to me with,
a loyal guy.
He's a loyal guy. He comes to me with these ideas, and his latest idea was this. He said, why don't, when you do the traffic reports, that I'll drive to the accident, and when I drive by, we'll get these magnets made up with your name and number on them, and I'll throw them out the window, and they'll stick to their car. So after the accident, when they go to the... I said, Chuck, you can't do that. Unethical. But you got to admire the idea that he came up with.
Yeah.
Throw magnets that stick to the car.
Use somebody else's traffic report, though.
You got it.
No offense.
You got to admire him for his, vigor. 88-year-old former President George H.W. Bush has been released from the hospital after being treated. Let's give him Oracle status.
Welcome back to civilization, George.
I got a funny story.
Hold on, let me get an Oracle here.
While you're looking for that.
That was a half Oracle.
I was the, with Gene Daniels, we were the co-chairman in 1988 of George Bush's presidency, okay? I got some great stories about this. He came in like 5 times in the greater Cincinnati airport because he came in Cincinnati. I was out there greeting him on the tarmac. And the very last time he came in, you think of all the freaking people he meets, he doesn't remember anybody. And the last time that he came in, he shook my hand. I got a picture of this, and not what he said, but he says, "You're the guy that's always here, aren't you?" He at least remembered that I'm the guy. The first time, though, that I got to greet the president was during his campaign. He was vice president. He flew in for the All-Star game that year in '88. It was in Cincinnati. Yeah. American League won 2-1.
Last time it was here.
He flew in on Air Force 2, and with him was the Crown Prince of Kuwait and Congressman at the time, Jim Bunny. My grandpa, who was the chairman of the airport board, calls me, and he says, I was the chairman of the Crittenden County Republican Party, and he said, Eric, how would you like to go out and greet the president? And I said, well, sure. By the power vested in my dear old grandpa as the chairman of the airport board, he and I were standing there by ourselves, no one else, to greet the president, the Crown Prince of Kuwait, and Jim Bunny and Mary Bunny as they descended off the airplane. There was a panel. Imagine this, all-star game, vice president flying in. There were 100 reporters and photographers behind this barrier, you know, watching this. And they had to be wondering, who the hell's the old guy with the gray hair and that young guy? You know, we're important people. They told us, when the Crown Prince comes down, he'll come first. Do not touch him. You're not supposed to touch him. Oh, okay. There was a picture that I took. I mean, they took, and I got it. Grandpa had the picture taken. And it's a picture of George Bush introducing me to the Crown Prince of Kuwait. I mean, he's got his hands, you know, you can tell. He's obviously introducing me to the Crown Prince of Kuwait, and I'm bowing. You can see me bowing, you know, because you don't shake his hand, you're, you know, nice to meet you. My grandpa grabbed his head.
No.
I was like, hope he doesn't get shot. And of course, they figured grandpa was harmless. They didn't shoot him. Now, then Bush, everybody talks about Bush being like really up. I got a letter, which is framed upstairs in my conference room. George Bush, it was really nice meeting you. You know, really nice meeting you. Now, fast forward. This is really cool. Saddam Hussein invades Kuwait. And I said to myself, I remember saying this to anybody who would listen to me. I said, we are going to war. That guy flew in to the All-Star game, the Crown Prince of Kuwait. I said, we're going to help this guy. He's George's buddy. During the All-Star game, I had real good seats behind the dugout, blue seats. I look up in the boxes, and this is like a beautiful scene. Crown Prince of Kuwait, George Herbert Walker Bush, Vice President, Carl Linder. And I looked over and I said, his campaign is financed.
Wow.
I mean, isn't that a neat story?
Yeah.
Now, here's some more good stories about it. He went Farrish, a horse guy down in Lexington, Richard now. He had a fundraiser for him, and they were really restrictive about getting. And I forget who I was with. We snuck. Here's how good Secret Service was at that event. We snuck into the barn where he was, and I got another picture taken with him. And then here's some more. The one night that he came in, and I love this picture. I got a picture of me and Bill Hemmer, who married Ralph Dree's daughter, Steve Preston, who else? Gene Daniels and me, my buddies that were in the party, with Lee Atwater. Because after George Bush came in, Lee Atwater came later. Well, this is a true story. I'm not kidding you. You can check this out. You can verify that during 1988, Rob Portman, now United States Senator, worked on the advance team of then Vice President Bush. Okay, we go out to the airport. Charlie Lucan is there. I mean, all the Cincinnati people were there. All the Hamilton County people there. We're to greet George Bush once again as he gets off the airplane. All right. I'm standing now. Here's Rob Portman. I didn't know who he was. I found out later it was Rob Portman. He's got his pad, okay, and he's checking off who's there. Gene and I are on it. Gene's and my name's on it. Typical Bulldog, right? I said, let me tell you something. I said, we are the Northern Kentucky chairman of Vice President Bush. If you don't realize it, this airport happens to be in Northern Kentucky. If you think for a minute that you're going to stop me and Mr. Daniels here from going out there and greeting the president, you got something else coming, pal. He caved. Gene Daniels and I went out and got in line right next to Taft and Charlie Lucan and all the rest of them.
Man, that's pretty cool.
That's crazy.
He's now a United States Senator. But I scared the hell out of him. I stood up to him.
Good for you.
I mean, it was a bunch of crock. It's like all the Cincinnati, Ohio. Come on, we're not allowed to get out there.
You would think that they had a more strict list. Like, I mean, you were personally invited to be out there, and they had a set list. But
She could get close to the bottom.
So that segment was all about my George Bush stories. When we come back, we will cover some more news. This is REM, Man on the Moon. Of course, if we want to send a man on the moon now, we have to hitchhike with Russia, thanks to Barack Obama on ClassX Radio. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. Ladies and gentlemen of the American jury, you know, you are a composite, a compilation of everything that you have done, read, watched, experienced, listened to during your lifetime. People sometimes forget when I start talking about politics that I ran congressional campaign, governor campaign, you know, was involved in presidential campaigns. I know my stuff when it comes to politics. One more story before we get to traffic. Lee Atwater came to town. Hope I don't get emotional telling this story. Lee Atwater came to town, and there was a dinner for Jim Bunning with Lee Atwater, who's my hero. He's the one that came up with the Roy Horton ad. And it was a dinner on a Saturday night at Bill Butler's house under the trees and whatnot, and I was honored to sit next to Lee Atwater. And I seized the moment, of course. And I said, what would you give? This was when I was running Clyde Milton's campaign, who became the first Republican forever to be elected judge executive. And I said, give me one piece of advice, you know. And he told me this, so all you politicians out there, listen. He said, when it gets closer to the election, Focus on where you're strong. You're better off, getting votes where you're already strong than trying to get a vote where you're weak. Made sense to me. Let me tell you what I strategized and what I did. I sent Clyde Milton down to Covington and Latonia, Democratic territory, right? I said, Clyde, every day, I want you to drive down there, pick a street, knock on 10 doors, and then leave and go back out to the perfume belt, Fort Mitchell, those areas. Why? So those people think that you're walking down in Covington, Latonia, which he didn't do. Man, I tell you, I ran that campaign like a freaking bank. So anyway, I get to meet Lee Atwater and learn a few things. Fast forward, Lee Atwater gets brain cancer, which he subsequently died. And he wrote his last published piece. He apologized to Michael Dukakis for saying he's going to take the bark off of him and all that, and he died. The very last letter that I received my grandpa, who I have his typewriter. My grandpa used to type on his old typesetter. The very last letter that I ever got from my grandpa, he typed me this letter, and it's framed. I got this framed. And he said, Eric, this article about Lee Atwater reminded me of you. I have seen politics destroy people. You have a wonderful career in law, and that is what you should do. Let me tell you something, folks. I didn't listen to my grandpa once and ran for county attorney. You know what? I shouldn't have. I am now listening to my grandpa. I am focused on law. But it's the last letter. My grandpa used to write me letters. I used to have lunch with him every week, and I'm missing. But that's the last letter that my grandpa ever wrote, giving me that advice. Good old C.B. Bud Deters.
My name was Bud.
Never saw him not dressed up. Were your grandpa's name Bud too?
Bud. I never knew him. That's it.
Really?
Just consider yourself lucky.
Yeah.
I never knew either of my grandpas.
I went to, I was a good grandson. First of all, I'm going to go ahead and say it because I know it's true. I was my grandpa's favorite. Because I was the one that he could talk politics and stuff to. I mean, I was. I know of all the grandchildren, not just my mom and dad, I know I was my grandpa's favorite. And then my Granny Crippen-Staple, who loved us all the same. My Granny Crippen-Staple, I used to go to Bonanza once a month with her. She loved Bonanza. She used to tell my sisters, make sure they keep that in their pants. Make sure they keep that in their pants. With that, Angie Prickle, how about a traffic report?
Well, in Cincinnati, they cleared the accident on US 50 River Road, Three Rivers Parkway at Kibbe Lane. In Cincinnati, the accident on West North Bend at Oakwood Avenue.
Well, I would like to ask you this, Angie Prickle. What about your grandparents? Good relationship? Did you know them? What was your relationship like?
I knew my mom's parents. They were in my life for years and years and years and passed away in the early 2000s. My grandfather was a farmer in Verona. And my dad's mother raised 7 children by herself, so I never knew that grandfather. And she was from Walton, well, Richmond actually, but spent most of her life in Walton. Never drove a day in her life, raised 7 kids.
My grandma Deters never drove. And my grandpa Deters didn't learn to drive till he was later in life. They met when my grandpa was like 18 and she was 16. And the way they met is my grandma caused my grandpa to wreck on his bicycle. And he got nasty with her. He kind of, and then later they had to kind of hook up. And this is so funny to think of. My grandma's parents hated my grandpa. You think about it. They hated my grandpa. They ran off and got married and stayed married for frickin' 70 years. I mean, isn't that funny? Yeah. You think about somebody not liking your grandpa? Are you kidding me? You know, I think about how close we are to Riley and Reagan. I mean, she, Mimi, and I'm of course Pop. I picked her up from her dad yesterday, and we went out to there. And when she saw me, Pop. And when I was telling her where we were going to go see, and we're going to see Mimi, oh my God, Riley was just so happy. And I mean, it's just awesome to be a grandparent. They love, and this is a true story, okay? We're sitting at the table. Riley spills a glass of water right on my pants, my suit leg. My reaction? It's okay, Riley. Everybody laughed. In fact, then I made a joke. Riley, you want to pour some more on me? Your grandkids can do anything.
I'd have done that. You'd kick my ass.
I know I would. Or at least try to. But I'm just saying, your grandkids, you just let them do anything you want. Janet Napolitano has confirmed she will stay on. Isn't that wonderful? During the second term. Hillary Clinton's going to testify before Congress in the Libya attack next week. Believe that when I see it. And a mob boss, Anthony Zarelli, claims he knows where Hoffa's grave is.
How about that?
We'll believe that when we see it, don't we?
I think it's up in Detroit, a suburb of Detroit.
It's 20 miles north of there.
But there's a guy in the FBI that said that Zarelli, or whatever his name is, was the underboss of
there you go.
Teamsters, and if anybody knew, it would probably be him. So,
ladies and gentlemen, American jury, guess what? Chuck Holbrook says traffic on 3L sucks. That's the kind of report that I really like.
thanks, Chuck.
I mean, straight up. By the way, remember, folks, if you got a traffic report out there, text me 859-250-2527 or email me at eric@ericdeters.com. It comes to my phone.
That's how we ought to do traffic.
That's right. Just call us or text us.
He better not take my job.
Angie Prickle, I got to ask you this. Did you like the movie Top Gun? And then the next question is Tom Cruise, Val Kilmer. Which one? If you had to. If Randy gave you, what was that movie called? Hall Pass. Tom Cruise, Val Kilmer. Iceman, or what was it?
Goose? Was it Goose?
No, Goose was his sidekick.
Iceman and
Maverick. Maverick or Iceman?
Oh, loved that movie. Back then, I would have probably taken Maverick, but he's lost it over the years.
Yeah, Val Kilmer, I don't know. I like Val Kilmer. His role in that was fun.
Tom Cruise is a douche.
I mean, you know, back then, he was
Well, let's just hope. How long have you been married?
23 years.
Well, let's just hope after 23 years, you never lose that loving feeling. We're going to dedicate this to you, Randy, for letting your wife come in and do traffic on ClassX Radio.
Love you, baby.
This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury. What do we got going on in traffic there, Angie Prickle?
Well, we had a fan call in and say that it's curling turtles on 75 North. I hope that doesn't...
Curling turtles.
Hope that doesn't mean real turtles. I'm assuming slow traffic. There was a sponsor, Jim True, that let us...
Jim True from True Ford in Brookville, Indiana.
Yes, sir. And he says all is good in Brookville. Also, in Cincinnati, the accident was cleared on US 50 at River Road and 3 Rivers Parkway at Kibbe Lane. And in Cincinnati, there's an accident on West North Bend Road at Oakwood Avenue.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I want to honor Odessa Phelps, who was my Uncle Jerry's secretary for all those years. Drawbridge passed away. I saw the obituary last night, and I just want to wish the Phelps family all the best in their loss. Sad, sad, sad. No matter how old you are. Speaking of some family stories, my Uncle Jerry had framed, or not framed, it was a plaque in his office of TR that had that quote that I have on my website. Aggressive fighting for the right is the greatest sport the world affords, the noblest sport the world affords. I am holding up a book, and this is another funny, great story. My grandpa Deters passed away, and then my grandma Deters passed away, and what the kids did, or all their children, they kind of had an auction, and then like grandkids, and they could pick something out, and then that price would be deducted from their share. It was kind of like a fair way to do an auction of their personal effects. I didn't go to the auction. I didn't win anything. The only thing that I got from my grandpa and my grandma, and it's funny because I got them by default because nobody else even thought of them or wanted them. And everybody thought of me first. They said, Eric ought to take those. My grandpa's personal papers and his books. And I am not kidding you. I feel like they might have messed up and let me have these. This book that I'm holding up is a Victor Hugo, and he had all of the works of Victor Hugo. This I pulled out on purpose because it's Les Miserables, the works of Victor Hugo. Look how old that is. Now, there are people that specialize in selling these, books. Look at that. Victor Hugo, Les Miserables, and then it's amazing. The paper is like paper thin, and if I turn to the page, I'm going to find it here, the date that this was published. I'm wondering if these books are really, really valuable. He has like, not just Victor Hugo, he has, lots of other famous authors' books. And I'm like, I wonder if these are worth some money.
That is old.
That is old.
Extremely old. Let me see that thing.
And here, by the way, if you've gone to see Les Miserables, it sometimes happens that the rabble, that great and desperate mass. This is the second paragraph in the book. Listen to this. This guy wrote this. It sometimes happens that the rabble, that great and desperate mass, even contrary to principles, even contrary to liberty, equality, and fraternity, even contrary to the universal vote, to the government of all by all, protests from the depths of its agony, its discouragement, its deprivations, its fevers, its distresses, its ignorance, and its darkness, and the populace offers battle to the people. That's for Victor Hugo right there, baby. Good stuff. Hey, Arizona Governor Jan Brewer makes a surprise announcement. She's going to do Obamacare in her state. She's only the third Republican governor to do so. And how about the president in his speech? This is what we ought to really, rant a little bit about. Obama, in his debt ceiling speech yesterday, came out, Angie Prickle, and said the congressional failure to raise the debt ceiling would delay, here he plays the card, payments to Social Security and veterans benefits recipients. He also said he would not negotiate over raising the debt limit. Well, first of all, let me tell you something. If you don't raise the debt limit, the government can't spend the money. So it's like, too bad, Mr. President, deal with it. Stop all your spending. And I crack up that people think, well, he's got the upper hand. Really? Well, here we go again. He's not going to negotiate. Barack Obama is evil. He's evil. He might smile. He might look like a nice guy. He might be Mr. Good Husband. Actually, we know who wears the britches in that family, don't we? I mean, she runs the country. Her and Valerie Jarrett. And he might be a super dad and all that, but he is evil. Why? Because he is just taking America. Who's harmed America? And I've said this before rhetorically. Who has harmed America more than Barack Obama? Nobody. Nobody in the history of this country has put us in more peril. Not even, I'm not kidding you, not even John Calhoun and the secessionists of South Carolina. He is bankrupting our country. He is destroying the whole country. You know what I would say? We're not going to hold you hostage, Mr. President, because we're not going to change the debt ceiling. Right, Angie Prickle?
Absolutely. I agree. 100%.
Now, you and your husband own a small business, and I would predict this, that the successes that you are having are despite Barack Obama, and that Barack Obama and the Congress do nothing to make your business easier to run. Am I correct?
It's been horrible. It's been horrible. It's all
without sharing too much, just what's it like as a small business owner out there fighting Barack Obama every single day?
Well, the tax increases on payroll tax, the tax increases on city and county taxes, state and federal taxes, insurance. I mean, insurance is skyrocketing.
You mean it's not going down? It's not going down, Angie? It's supposed to go down.
No, they're going to push it to where everybody has to have government insurance.
Hey, I got the solution. You know what we ought to do? Everybody in America should get a gong, get naked like Matthew McConaughey, don't pay your taxes, don't do your tax return, and let's have a bang on a gong all day led by Matthew McConaughey on ClassX Radio.
That was even.
This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. In that documentary I watched last night, it was showing hippies. You've heard this line before, but it was funny. It's a very pro-police line. Hate cops. Next time you're in trouble, call a hippie. That's good stuff. By the way, the hippies were the most selfish people. They just wanted to play, man. Check out, hang out, man. The most irresponsible group of people who've ever lived, the hippies. You have to forget about our responsibility to the country, each other, your children, your families. Here's another funny police story. There was a police, there was somebody I represent. People always think everything I do is in the news. No. Very confidential things get resolved all the time. This one in particular. I represented somebody that was in a school and there was an issue. And you know what? Technically, they could have made a big deal about it. In reality, it was no big deal. I wrote a letter to the principal and the police officer doing the investigation, and I said, you know, don't destroy this person's life. Because if they expelled this person and they charged this person, that's what would have happened. I'm going to tell you something. I'm not going to say their name because I can't. I'll tell you right now, that school did not expel them. And that police officer called me and said, we're not going to charge him. And I'm thinking, man, humanity, it was the right call. And this officer, who I know had a good tease me. He goes, Bulldog, I had to laugh that your letter said, we need to keep this out of the media. He goes, of all people, to be... I said, well, was I right? He goes, yeah, but it was just funny, Bulldog, hearing that from you.
Normally the opposite.
Yeah, just the opposite. Bang on a gong, bang on them all day. Angie Prickle, will you please give us a traffic report?
Still not much to report. In Cincinnati, accident on West North Bend Road at Oakwood Avenue. In Centerville, disabled vehicle on Sheehan Road at West Social Row Road. And from a fan, it might be still crawling turtles on 75 North. And Jim True Ford called in to say that all is well in Brookville.
We like it when all's well in Brookville. You know, I think it was my birthday.
7 people out there, Jim, that's why.
I think it was, I'm going to go ahead and make a confession. I think it was my birthday a couple years ago. My wife got a cabin on Brookville Lake. We went up there, took one of those pontoon boats out there on the lake. And I not only skinny dipped, I peed in Lake Brookville as I swam.
Oh, nothing better, is there? Just
in the lake. Man, heck yeah.
And I would tell you, when we had that party at your house that one time, we were in the pool.
Right.
I peed in it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did. I was worried you had that dye that you could put in the pool.
Hey, by the way, is that true in that one Adam Sandler movie? Is there really a dye that shows pee? It doesn't.
I think you can.
There's no way.
Think about it every time I pee in the pool.
No way.
No, you got to put in a special chemical.
I stopped peeing in the pool because of that. I mean, I ain't gonna pee in the pool, so everybody's gonna know I'm peeing in the pool.
Big red cloud.
Jeez.
Comes up around you.
It is funny. House Republican Conference Chairwoman Kathy McGorris-Rogers said they're gonna fight. They're gonna fight. No, they won't. They're chicken. They're jackwagons. Angie Prickle, can you imagine if I was the president, or I was the Speaker of the House, or I was the Senate leader? Wow.
Woo!
You know, when I'm President of the United States in 2016, when I take down Hillary, I'm going to do my radio show. We're going to do a radio show every morning from the White House. The American people are going to be able to tune in and listen to their president, report on what's going on, tell it like it is. I will be the most loved president of the United States since Abraham Lincoln.
There won't be a need for a press conference.
There won't be any. I'm going to do one 3 hours every day.
Right.
And if I have to travel, I'm not going to travel a lot. I'm not into travel. I'm not going to travel. Why do you got to travel? You're the President of the United States. You pick up the phone and you call people and they're going to want to talk to you, right? And you know what? If you're good to them, you don't need to travel and go see them. Like Israel. Listen, dudes, I ain't going to come over there and suck up to you all. I got your back. The first bomb that they hit you with, we're going to hit them with a bigger one.
I'll go over there. I'll submit. When I'm a member of your I'll go over to this foreign country.
Member of my you're my Secretary of Communications to the world.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to have to
Yeah.
do some stuff.
2012, the official troop suicide numbers are staggering. Over 349 troops, or one every 25 hours, committed suicide in 2012. And I tell you right now, those Somersault Cinnamon Crunch products are being recalled. So if you're getting ready to bite into one as you drive, throw that Cinnamon Crunch product out the window now. I'm sorry to litter, but I just saved your life. And Walmart plans to hire any veteran who wants a job if they've left the military inside of 12 months and didn't receive a dishonorable discharge. That's pretty cool. Love a minute. Let's give Chuck Holbrook Oracle status for bringing me what I needed from the office.
Congratulations, Chuck.
All right. There was another movie that I watched. Man, I watched a lot of television last night. Machine Gun Preacher. This guy's named Sam Childers, and he's still in northern Uganda and southern Sudan. That Joseph Kanya LRA, they've abducted 40,000 kids, killed 400,000. This dude is still there, you know, fighting back and killing them. Some guy, American, went over there. Machine Gun Preacher. Watch the movie. Well worth it. Well worth it. All right, the next song that we have, Mr. Garrett, you better be getting the song together.
Todd Rundgren.
Rundgren. This says, bang on the drums all day, naked, and don't pay your taxes. This is the way we're going to do it, folks. Naked, banging on the gongs, banging on the drums, and we're not paying our taxes, naked, on ClassX Radio. ClassXRadio.com. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. If you're a UK fan, I, of course, read the Lexington Herald Leader and the Courier Journal every day, along with the Columbus Dispatch, Dayton Daily News. I stay on top of everything. There is a basketball player, Tyus Jones, a 6'1" guard out of Minnesota, who apparently is like the #1 college prospect in the class of 2014. And Tubby Smith's recruiting him, as well as UK, Duke, North Carolina, Michigan State, Ohio State, Baylor, and Kansas. Oh my goodness. They say everybody is after Tyus Jones. So we'll see what happens with Calipari. Another thing is, I don't sponsor Little League sports teams. Why? Because everybody asks me. So I just say no to everybody because I can't pick and choose. But it's really tough when somebody asks you to sponsor their team and they're named the Bulldogs. What do, you know?
Let's see.
It's like, man, how do you tell to sponsor the Bulldogs? And I also watched last night.
Oh, no, this team sucks. You don't want to sponsor them.
I was watching Chris Farley's Greatest Hits from Saturday Night Live. I just watched one bit of it. And it was when Adam Sandler was playing music, and it was called Lunch Lady Land. And Chris Farley was the lunch lady. Oh, my God.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Chuck Holbrook, I want to thank you for being a great underboss and bringing me my box.
You're welcome.
And everything that was in it that I needed.
You're welcome.
You're a good man.
Traffic was...
Hey, Chuck, since we're like the Bulldog Mafia, how funny would it be? It kind of be funny, wouldn't it? Since that guy, that mobster, says he knows we're Hoffa, is that the Bulldog Mafia gets there first to announce to the world where he is.
Now you're thinking.
Huge news. Yesterday, I received confirmation. I mean, this is like really cool. Not only do we now have BulldogsNation.com, I now hold the registered trademark for any purpose of Bulldog Nation. Georgia Bulldogs, Gonzaga Bulldogs, Butler Bulldogs, Holmes Bulldogs. No one, nobody in the world can use Bulldog Nation except me.
Now, like,
how cool is that?
Now, what if Marv Albert or whoever says Bulldog Nation?
I'm suing him.
Yeah.
Don't you dare, Marv Albert. You pay me $1 million for saying it. We also have Witty and Wise registered. And I'm not going to tell you the others except this. I have 8 pending that are cool as heck, and it's going to be fun.
Speaking of Witty and Wise, have you talked about the comedy show today?
No, but February 2nd, I'm going to be down Saturday night at the Thompson House, formerly the Southgate House. Jay Armstrong will be my lead-in act. It's Groundhog Day,
9 p.m.
9 p.m., and I will be there to make you laugh.
What is that, a Saturday night?
Saturday night. Aren't you going to come? Saturday prime time.
There.
I got my first prime time Saturday night gig.
Oh,
You can buy tickets, link up with Jay Armstrong, comedian Jay Armstrong. On
Or at the
Facebook,
Thompson House.
Or at the door. There.
Angie Prickle, give us a full report on traffic, please.
In Cincinnati, accident West North Bend Road at Oakwood Avenue. In Centerville, disabled vehicle on Sheehan Road at West Social Row Road. That's hard to say. I think the Turtles probably are cruising on this morning on 75 North. And Jim True Ford, hopefully everything's still good in Brookville.
Do you notice that she doesn't use any traffic isms?
No, she doesn't.
No
use the
riding on the brakes.
Right.
Thank you for not doing that.
What's that?
Just
You know, cliches of the
cliches.
traffic
Call them
industry.
radio-isms.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Patty Waddell is going to be our traffic gal on Thursday. Is your mom going to do tomorrow?
I haven't heard from her yet. Mom, text me back.
If mom doesn't do it, we're going to need a traffic reporter. Angie, could you come back tomorrow if we need you?
If you need me, I'll be back. Man, 4 o'clock comes early.
Is Sarah in
Yeah.
Friday? I like when Sarah's in.
Sarah's in Friday.
You don't have any hair, Harry.
I want to get my mom to do it
Yes.
one day. We'll have like a mom competition.
Yeah, let's get all the moms.
The mom throwdowns. This is, my wife's going to be celebrating, well, we celebrated last night, but her birthday is Sunday. And of course, I'm a good man. I'm not going to tell the world how old my wife is. However, she got a birthday card that she announced at the table last night that was pretty funny. She goes, the birthday card said, there was a picture in it, I'd rather be blank, the age at which she's going to be, than pregnant. Wouldn't you agree with that, Angie Bringle? These people that have like children, you know, in their late 40s or 50s or whatever, nuts.
Isn't it awesome?
It's like starting over a whole freaking family.
Isn't it awesome to be a guy and not have to
Yes.
birth a living thing?
Well, I mean, just think about all the plumbing issues that they have that we don't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Birth
I mean, I'm just
They're always throwing up. And
the month.
It's rough.
And the guy who's never been married, never had a child, he's the expert. Tell us more about this, Darren. Tell us some more about this.
You get a lot of hot flashes. You get the chills. It's
describe what they go through while they're pregnant. There.
Oh, and then during the actual pregnancy, oh, you're in this straddle-like thing. And just pushing. It's
a straddle-like thing.
Hell on earth.
Oh my God.
Yeah, stirrups.
Stirrups. Yeah, stirrups.
Why are all men gynecologists? I don't get it.
Well, what?
Well, all I know is
They don't know anything about
all
it.
I know is
every hot girl that comes in a gynecologist like 45 fatties.
Exactly. Exactly. You know what you got to do? You got to take the good with the bad. Because it's kind of like, and you know what? I don't care what they say. I don't care what they say. Hot woman comes in, needs exam, you know, they do the breast exam, they do like, give me a break. Like, they hate that. But then you got I don't know, someone's got a disease, someone smells.
TMI.
I'm just saying, man, it's good with the bad. But if I was going to be a doctor, if I was smart to be a doctor, I would have been an obstetrician gynecologist.
I would not have been, yeah, I mean, there's...
Very rewarding.
Not that I'm smart enough to be a
babies.
doctor anyway, but...
Actually,
could you imagine being like a first responder type?
Actually, I was going to be a neurosurgeon, but I didn't like biology because I didn't like blood. So I decided not to be a neurosurgeon. I just made that decision.
Instead of working on your brain, you're picking their brain.
Picking their brain. Picking their brain. You know what? Being a doctor is a tough job. I can say this. You know, I work like 20-hour days, 7 days a week. But you know what? At least when the people text and call me, I don't have to go in and deliver a baby.
Yeah.
I can call Chuck to go meet. Chuck, can you go deliver that baby down there? Chuck or Chad will go deliver the baby. Oh my God. Oh well, we're having fun. And you know, we've been playing some classic rock, but we've already announced we're going to play good music. You got something new on traffic? It looks like another green thing popped up.
Well, let's see.
A new green thing.
In Cincinnati, the accident on West North Bend Road at Oakwood Avenue. Also in Cincinnati, accident on Vine Street at Goodman and Nixon Street. In Cincinnati, disabled vehicle on Reading Road, US 42 at Losantville Avenue.
You just make it up. You don't pause. You just make it up. I used to do readings in church, and it would say, Paul then said to the blah, 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 and you just keep on going. You act like you know what it is. That was your worst report yet. So recover the next segment, okay? Or we won't ask you back.
I'm not offend anybody out there that lives in Losantville.
I'm just teasing. It's
It's
Losantiville.
Okay, well.
Sound like hillbillies anyway.
Yeah, we don't care. We don't care.
I gotta make a mistake every now and then.
Yeah, you're right. Who would you like to have on our walls, Angie? Is there anybody particular, a poster that you would like to have on the wall?
I don't know, but I mean, I've been facing this female wall now for. I mean, I think I'm gonna have to turn my back on you guys and look at the men behind me. I do have Jesus on my right, though.
You're right.
Guys.
We have two pictures of Jesus.
JC.
And by the way, just so everybody knows, not sacrilegious Jesus. We put him up on purpose because Jesus deserves it.
It's actually Jesus in a clown suit.
Will you shut up? It is not.
Sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen of the American Jury, this is Bruno Mars. We'll play this for the gals. We're trying to expand our audience. This is Locked Out on ClassX Radio.
I love Bruno.
ClassX Radio. Why don't you give us a little traffic, Ange?
Well, it looks like that the disabled vehicle was cleared up on Sheehan Road at West Social Row Road. Gosh, that's so hard to say. In Cincinnati, there's an accident on West North Bend Road at Oakwood Avenue. Also in Cincinnati, accident on Vine Street at Goodman and Nixon Street. And also in Cincinnati, disabled vehicle on Reading Road, US 42 at Losantiville Avenue. I want to make sure I get that corrected. I don't want to be beat up on.
Very well done.
Very well done. Ladies and gentlemen of the American Jury, if you're living on a rock, the White House apparently is going to think that they can sign 19 executive orders on guns. And one congressman says impeach. And then, of course, we got Eastern Kentucky Sheriff Danny Payman from Jackson County. Said he has not defined President Obama, but an executive order that it might arise in which guns of any sort would be collected by the federal government. But he goes, I'm only speaking for people here in Jackson County. We're talking about self-protection here. I don't think there should be a limit. And he's not going to confiscate guns in his county. Yeah. They're going to bury them. They're going to hide them. There are some who will probably just fight you for it. If you take away our freedoms and take away our firearms, it's total control of the people. I loathe Barack Obama and all the people that serve in his administration who carry out his handiwork. Little Joe Biden, all of them. Harry Reid, Nancy Pelosi, Lou, Mr. Liberal guy. You know, how about him? Mr. Integrity. He's the most man of integrity, really. He's the guy that said the balanced budget was going to bring down, or his budget that they were proposing, which was voted down 100 to nothing in the Senate, was going to save us. You kidding me? What a joke. It's going to get ugly, folks. And how about this? Rahm Emanuel, the godfather of Chicago, there was only 22 dead already in Chicago. What does he say? Let's have more gun control. Hey, Mr. Mayor, maybe all the good citizens of Chicago ought to arm up and start shooting back. Beyond lack of common sense. New York, Bloomberg, they're going to pass sweeping new gun laws. Joke. Joke. There are some people that just don't get it. And they never will. They never will. Anyway. Guns. Second Amendment. Leave us alone. By the way, we have 3 Snickers left if anybody wants to eat one. They're gone. They're gone. That went quick, didn't it? That was funny. That was...
I'm going to get choked up.
By the way, if you're living in... I'm going to now turn off my iPad. It was a little run through the Drudge Report. I want everybody to know that I am going to have an office soon in Avondale. How you like that? You don't know this, Chuck. I hired a young lady, Elise Pilson, who has a little office in Avondale. And with her hire comes her office. Right in the heart of Bulldog Nation land. If you're an African American that gets arrested wrongfully or shot or tased wrongfully, we're not talking about you that deserve it. We're talking about you that have been done wrongfully. They all have my cell phone number.
Matter of fact,
that's my goal. Everybody in the tri-state that likes me, half the people, has my cell phone in their phone.
Workers are there now, right? Outfitting the windows with bars and getting new locks installed and all that.
We're going to lead the charge against the streetcar from that location. What do you think of the streetcar, Angie Prickle? You live in Verona. Would you like to drive down to downtown Cincinnati and then get on a streetcar?
Ooh, well.
Just say no.
No, not necessarily.
Just say no. Make it easy for you.
What about the bridge thing? I mean, I'm going to have to pay a toll to get to the streetcar.
Yeah, pay a toll to get over the bridge. Then
yes!
Then
do you know it's going to cost me? I calculated it. It's going to cost me $4,000 more a year based on me coming across the bridge five times.
$5 freaking? Is that what somebody said?
Yeah.
Saying it could be.
Yeah, it could be. It would cost me $4,000 a year. Now just think what that's costing. And by the way, Katie Stein pointed out, that's one of the reasons why people in Kentucky, there's more people from Kentucky going over and back than Ohio, so Kentucky would pay the brunt of the toll issue too.
Well, that's a good thing, but still, I've never paid a $5 toll. I think the most I've ever paid.
Right, you throw a few quarters in there, a couple bucks.
Yeah, the $3 maybe,
right.
tops, and that's a lot.
Well, our company goes over there, so we have all these trucks on the road.
You just think how much that's going to cost you? Businesses.
Yeah,
it's
businesses.
And they say, it's going to be done all electronically. Oh, they're going to electronically take my $4,000 a year.
Yeah, I mean, either way you're paying, whether you use pre-pass or not. It's not like you have to stop every time you go.
There's a bunch of stupid people in the world.
That can't happen.
And then they talk about this private-public partnership. And Scott Wortman from the Inquirer did that story Sunday. I said, well, who's going to own this? They say, well, it's not set up yet. BS. The people, hey, Brent Cooper from Covington, come on my radio show and answer the question. Who's going to own the private part of the private-public partnership? And don't tell me, well, we don't really know yet. Baloney. Who gets to buy into it? Who gets to own shares in it? Who gets to determine that? Who's planning on being it? Because there lies, as Shakespeare said in Hamlet, the rub. Because those who are going to profit from the private part of this are the ones pushing this toll. And you know why? Willie and I had a great conversation because he's talked to some of these bonds people.
Make a killing.
He says you make a killing, it's a safe investment because you got all these people coming across, and guess what? You don't turn off the spigot once it's paid for. You use the money for other things that's good for the community. I can tell you right now, all these civic leaders in the tri-state suck. They act like that they know what's best for us. All these civic leaders. Let me tell you, all you civic leaders and politicians, let me give you a tip. Leave us the hell alone.
Amen.
They do. Don't you hate Chamber of Commerce types acting like they know what's best for us? We know what's best for you. We need a bigger airport. We need this. We need that. We need this. God. And you know what? They hand out awards.
There's a toll.
And they hand out awards. They hand out awards. You know, you get this award, that award. Small business, you get the award of the year for the company that only has 10 people. 5 of them are women and 5 are men. You get the award this year because you have 5 blacks and 4 Asians. You get the award this year for a company that is over 5 years old that employs 25 people. You get the award of a big company that has people employed in 2 states. You get the award for the best company that has trucks. I mean, it cracks me up, the awards and all the plaques and the pieces of paper they pass out.
If they put a toll up, I'll never use that.
You know what Bulldog Nation wants? Be left the hell alone.
That's right.
We got a constitution. We'll pay our fair share and leave us the hell alone.
Mike Hancock.
Yeah, Mike Hancock.
Kentucky Transportation Secretary.
Jack Wagon, that guy.
Secretary.
This is the Lumineers. Ho hey. I don't know what the hell that means, but I love this song. I heard it this morning. You guys are going to love this song on ClassX Radio. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. My closing rant into the last song is going to be epic. So hold on to your freaking radio. Until then, I want everybody to know you can listen to us every morning from 6 o'clock to 9 a.m. I'm going to tell you something. If you're driving into work, or you're at work, and it's between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m., Monday through Friday to Tri-State, this is the best damn radio show you can listen to. Don't let Jim Geriatric Scott put you to sleep. We're on 88.9 FM, 89.1 FM, live TuneIn radio, ClassXradio.com, BulldogNation.com, and there is a app called ClassX Radio. We want to thank Angie Prickle for coming in and doing the traffic. She's been the best so far. And tomorrow, Garrett's mom, Terry, will be in. Be like David Letterman or something like that, right? His mom. His mom just always call in.
Oh, that's right.
I keep forgetting you're 24 and you don't know a damn thing at 24 years old. Now, Jerry,
what are you talking about? I know everything.
Angie Sprickle, your final traffic report for the day, but not your career.
Okay, in Cincinnati, accident on West North Bend Road at Oakwood Avenue again. And in Cincinnati, accident on Vine Street at Goodman, Nixon Street. And Cincinnati, disabled vehicle on Reading Road, US 42 at Losantiville Avenue.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the American jury, you have heard me repeatedly on this radio show and for the last 6 years on these airwaves talk about if something is complicated, it ain't good for you. Let me give you an example. A lawyer hands you a big old contract, it ain't good for you. Some car dealership has you sign 15 papers. A bank has you sign those 6-inch papers. Not good for you. There's a few exceptions. Neurosurgery, it's a little complicated. How to build a bridge, engineering, a little complicated. Other than that, if it's complicated, it's bad for you. Think about it, folks. Complicated relationship, long distance, they got kids, you got kids, only one of you divorced. I mean, you think about it, complicated, not good for you. You name it, complicated, not good for you. Football, complicated offense, not good. Complicated defense, not good. Complicated's bad. Do you know why the freaking federal government, state government, and most of your local governments, like the city of Cincinnati, are so freaking screwed up? Let me tell you why. Lawyers! Lawyers are the biggest jackwagons that roam the earth. They're worse than the T-Rex way back in the day. I mean, lawyers suck. You know what? Because lawyers only get paid if they bill you an hour. So guess what lawyers do all day? Look around. Where can I bill an hour? Where can I bill an hour? There's only two professions that only get paid if you win. Real estate agents, you got to be paid, you got to sell. And jackwagon ambulance chasers like me, because guess what? We only get paid if we win. Let me tell you something. Lawyers screw up the country. Who do you think wrote Obamacare, 2,800 page? Lawyers. Dodd-Frank Act, lawyers. Guess who we keep electing to Congress and Senate? Lawyers. Lawyers like to make things complicated, so they're the only ones that they could understand it. They don't want you to understand it, because then you got to hire a lawyer to tell you. How about the tax code? Do you ever freaking wonder why the tax code is so freaking messed up, so complicated? Because lawyers wrote it, because you got to hire a lawyer to tell you what's in the damn thing. Can you imagine what lawyers would do if you had a flat tax, a sales tax, nice and simple, fair tax? Oh my God, the lawyers would say, oh, they don't need to hire me to tell them what's freaking in it. Lawyers screw it all up. And let me tell you why the federal government is so freaking messed up. Do you know what also happens when it's so freaking messed up? Here's what happens. The complicated it is, the more complicated, more fraud, more cheating, more non-compliance. It also slows down commerce. You know what? Business flows when it flows. We got money going from point A to point B. People hire jobs. And guess what? Increase in revenues, you pay more taxes. Angie Prickle sitting to my right, you know what her company has? Lots of trucks going back and forth across this Brent Spence Bridge all day. Hell, that freaking toll tax, all these business owners in Covington, well, this is really good because the bridge, it would cost her probably $50,000 more a year. And if you're a small business person, let's face it, you ain't got $50,000 to spare, and neither do I. Lawyers, complicated, screwed up. You know how many business deals Willie and I have written on one freaking page? Do you know how many times I've seen my dad pull out a piece of legal pad and write down the deal on one page? I once represented a wife of a big CEO corporate guy here in the Tri-State. A law firm named Taft, Tennis and Hollister charged him $14,000 for a thick 6-inch prenup agreement. Well, they had to pay 4 times the prenup. It is ridiculous. Lawyers freaking are the scourge of the earth. hate lawyers like I hate lawyers. Now, are there some good lawyers? Sure, there's some good lawyers. Yours truly being one of them. But I'm going to tell you something. Complication and lawyers are killing the country. That's my closing argument. So what y'all think? Was I right or was I wrong? Was my delivery good? Was it too fast? Was my syntax good or bad?
You sound like the anti-lawyer lawyer.
Actually, you know what?
I am the anti-lawyer lawyer. Lawyers suck.
Come right here. Could you say it one more time? Go through it one more time.
You know, the other day, true story, I can tell the story. I have a discovery dispute with a lawyer that I don't really care for. And we were on the phone with the Honorable Michael Barrett, federal judge. And that guy spoke, and then I let it rip for about 10 minutes. You know what Judge Barrett says to me? Eric, my phone wasn't working. Can you go back about 10 minutes and start over? And I thought he was serious. He caught me. I'm like, oh, God. I think he thought I spoke too long.
He's a great judge.
But anyway, the bottom line is, am I not right? I mean, anything in your lives that's complicated good? I mean, anything.
No.
No. If it's complicated, it's bad for you. The Bulldog has wisdom on ClassX Radio. Every dog has their day. I hope today and tomorrow is yours. I love you, Bulldog Nation. Thanks for putting up with me. Tell all your friends to listen to our show, because it doesn't suck on ClassX Radio.